Okay, so it's been a while since I've actually shown anything from my garden. This is just kind of like the front landscaping, but and then of course the window boxes. But I haven't been doing too well this year. I'm really feeling actually back to pretty much my old self, probably 90% towards my old self. And I have been able to maintain my garden, but for me, it's not the way I maintain it, like when I'm feeling at my best. So there might be some flaws, but I kind of like my garden to be at perfection level. So I'm just going to take you through it. This first part here is the herb garden, and I do have some flowers. I like to use bamboo sticks. They're like the safest method. They work out well, and they don't look too bad in here. These are red celosia giant coxcomb, and if you look at the size comparison with my hand, like this one's tiny. So I'll know next year not to plant against the house. It's my first year. I planted these from seed, and not only that, but they are the seeds from the flower at the Thomas Jefferson Monticello. This one is the absolutely humongous one, and now they open and the sides will come all the way down. So this size right now is nothing compared to how huge this sucker is gonna get. It's gonna be beautiful. I wish it was gonna be opening closer to pumpkin show in a sense, because I would enter it in. But I may even go as far as when it fully opens, I may chop it down. That way I can bring it inside and actually enjoy it. I don't know, I'll decide later. We do have Georgie hanging there. This is the toothache plant. The official name is, I don't remember what, but it's the buzz plant. Called a buzz plant, feels like it's buzzing in your mouth. It's just kind of fun to play with. They make fancy drinks and throw these in them in places like LA, New York. So I have yet to try something like that, but I've been wanting to. Asher likes to grab them. Either he'll tell me, Gabal, my tooth hurts, or else then I'll give him a little tiny bit of the seeds, or else he'll just kind of start sucking on it like a dum-dum sucker, completely safe for him. It's not like he's chowing him down or anything. But I started this from seeds that I got from last year's plant, so I'll do the same thing this year. I'll probably just harvest all these. They're really hard to take though. I started a bunch of seeds and I had 2 plants go and they were just barely hanging on half the time. But look at it now, so comparison to my hand, it's a very nice size plant. Of course, here I have the thyme. And this is what I have up front. And then on here, I have a little bit of the oregano still. A little bit of a cooler crop, but I'm gonna use that to make the spaghetti sauce. On the other hand, the basil is flipping huge. So, I mean, this plant is a huge sucker. So I really need to start harvesting this because I'm gonna have to wash it real good, because whenever I'm out here, I seem to somehow get poison from where it's like in the air. So I wash it really good before I actually dry it out to make it. I have a hardy kiwi here. This is the second year of growing. The first year, it just barely grew up to maybe here. The second year, as you can see, I have it going along the flat trellis. But this is the like Isa one. There's specific ones. This one is actually a self-pollinator, whereas the other type, you have to have a pollinator. But with this one, if you do have a pollinator, you will get more fruit. So I've planted the kiwi pollinator with it, and of course it's a hardy kiwi, so it's not regular kiwi. They're the size of grapes, and you can literally pick them off and eat them like that, but they're supposed to taste like kiwis. So normally you don't get fruit on this till 3 to 5 years. I thought for sure I was gonna get it this year, so of course now I'm gonna have to figure out how to do it, and I'm wondering if it's I thought maybe it was like the secondary shoots, but I'm wondering if it's the tertiary shoot. So we'll find out. Over here, another big sized one. So there's the oregano, is the rosemary. Now, I'm not a fan. of cooking with rosemary, unless it's something like an oil, mixed in with an oil, you know, like with the bread or something like that. Or maybe like a tiny bit, you know, probably more so on meats than what I would on any type of like noodle. This plant I had in the ground last year, stayed all winter. It grew throughout the winter. There would be snow on it. Maybe some of you know that, but I didn't know that before. But it like thrived in the winter. It's thriving in the summer. I just can't believe how huge it is. So I'll harvest this. This really makes good mixing in, and makes a good like bug spray, because my garden here I try to keep organic. I don't want chemicals in here and everything. Parsley. So whenever I make food like potatoes, you know, or just even other foods, but pastas, I have to have parsley in it, because the food has to look appealing for me to even really want to eat it. So I went with a fancy parsley. I just thought it was kind of pretty. It makes me want to just kind of tear off a piece and put it on my plate so I'll eat and stuff. But that's a really nice size one, and it's ready to harvest. But again, I'm gonna have to wash it really well because of, look who comes through my neighbor's fence, and it's blowing on me right now. I have poison on my face again for like the third time. Not as bad as the first time, but I'll make it. Purple coneflower. These are the really ones that look like daisies, but they're purple. You've probably seen them. They're a perennial in everybody's yards. But I grew this from seed. Got the seed off Etsy. In growing the seed, it takes, I think it says that they don't bloom until the second year. So I'm gonna have to take care of this in the winter, but considering it's like out by the house and on the side, it should be okay. Here we got another piece of thyme. And there I had anise, which is good. I think it was good for like pain, stuff like that, the seeds. I was skeptical because I read somewhere where it can increase your heart rate. So after it was time to be harvested, it was pretty much done. I ended up not harvesting the seeds because I don't want an increase in my heart rate. So I just kind of got rid of them. Another toothache plant from seed started at the same time as the other one. So when I was saying how hard it can be to grow these, like here we go again. So get my shadow out of the way, but this is the size difference. So here's my lavender. I've had the lavender probably, geez, maybe 4 years now, maybe 5. And that includes, I think it was 5 years, and that includes a transplant from the front to the side of the house. I need to harvest this now, so that way I can get some more harvest for the fall, especially with all those coming on. I know I'll even get more on, but I dry them out for a while, and then I make like an oil tincture, and I use it as my face scrub. I make like a salt scrub, and I use that twice a week on my face in the shower, and it just really does wonders, you know, with my routine. Over here, this right here are the Beefmaster tomatoes. Now I just took like a humongous one off. These will get huge. So these are like smaller ones, but they're some of them are so big, like this one. Oh my goodness, if I can get in here, that they're like the size of my hand, and you can't really see from here, but they get the size, like bigger than my hand actually. Even bigger than like a man's hand. Now this is a smaller one, and look how well it fits in my hand. I entered one in the pumpkin show, and it was like, I think 3.5 pounds or 3.25 pounds or something, much bigger than this, but it won first place for the largest tomato. And they're really starting to come on, like a ton of them. This is the Roma. So if you look at the height difference, but there's the Roma tomatoes. I got 3 Roma in the plant forms. I couldn't find the seeds early enough for, you know, like what I wanted. Ooh, look at that one. It's like a prolapse. So I ended up getting these little plant forms, which are easier anyway, so I'll probably just keep doing that. And anyway, I got 3 plants. Well, these are the other 2. And I had them all labeled as Roma, but of course, They're more like sandwich tomatoes. I don't know what kind, so I just labeled them surprise tomatoes. Again, bamboo sticks are able to hold up the surprise tomatoes okay, no problem. But these needed a little bit more support, we've learned over the years, so there we go. Greg was able to put the poles in for me. These are peanuts. Usually I do the Virginia peanuts. This time I did like the Tennessee peanuts. So I'm hoping to get maybe more. They probably won't be as big, but more. But these are Asher and Penn's. Asher grew them last year and entered them in the pumpkin show. And he got first place. So now that Penn's old enough, they're just going to enter them together. So hopefully we get them. But it's kind of hard here because the way they work, these yellow ones, these yellow flowers, they pollinate and then they go down. They have to be able to fall down and go in the ground. So I'm gonna have to add more dirt for these flowers. But they take so long. So with it being August, those won't even probably be ready for October. But there were some earlier that should be in the ground and hopefully are growing. And hopefully they'll get at least a few of them. So this is my trellis, and normally it's filled up all the way. But the long gourds did not take this year. Gourds usually only have, I think from what I read, like a 25% germination rate. And last year when we did them, we had I started like 8, and every single one of them took. I was like, wow, they all took. Well, of course they did, because this year none of them did. I even purchased a giant long gourd off Etsy, and it came from an award-winning long gourd, and that one didn't even go. So, but these are egg gourds, also known as goblin egg gourds. They get shaped like little eggs. I'm hoping they're gonna be okay. You know, this one I don't see like too many on, but if you see here, like this is well, this one was a dead one. We'll find a female on here. If not, I'll find it on another one. And sometimes that happens too. But knowing there was a female, so there's a female right there. And they usually start with the males. So those are the male ones. And then of course the females. So yeah, it's getting a bunch of females, and this is a really healthy plant. So I wanted the plant to be kind of bigger, unlike how the other plants were, because the fruit's gonna be much better this way. And I'm hoping I'm just gonna try to leave them on and let them just kind of cure themselves on the vine this fall, so that way hopefully we can just paint them and stuff. So in the herb garden was actually where poison oak was, and over here is where poison ivy is. So it's either the poison ivy or the poison oak that gives me. But you can also see, like if you look right here, so here's my strawberry plants actually coming out. These were rooted, just the roots, in the refrigerator. And I planted them, and they've done wonderful. And now I need to weed this, as you can see. But yeah, they end up looking great. Nice cage, because we have a box and we have stray cats. And well, I don't really think I need to explain any more than that. I've planted the flowers throughout. These flowers didn't do as well as before. Of course, they probably need deadheaded. I got these at Walmart, whereas last time I got them from Rhodes Garden, and they were so much better. I had beans over here, but they're more of a cold crop, so they're pretty much done. Just down to one purple queen. And then of course the grapevines are over here, which are green still, but these will actually turn purple. These are Concord grapes, so they're not quite done with the green. I was kind of hoping to see one done in purple, but I don't see any just yet. I have 3 of these tiny little miniature bell pepper plants. You like pop them in your mouth. I mean, they're bigger than grapes, you know, but they're just the tiniest, cutest little. I wanted to try the mini bells. Now next year I'll probably just do regular ones, so that way I can go ahead and freeze them, chop them up and freeze them for the winter. And then of course here we have the cucumbers, which I wanted to make some pickles. Last year I had like the pickled cucumbers, and I was able to do that. Holy cow. But I'm not catching these soon enough, as you can tell. It's just kind of hard to keep up once you get cucumbers, but I'm hoping that those will be some pickles. Because even when I do get them at the right size, I mean, I need to have several of them that size to make a jar of pickles. Okay, I love the huge flowers that this really lets off. They get really nice size, so they look really pretty. The blueberries are pretty much done. These are the jelly bean blueberries. These are potted. I actually, when they all the leaves fell off, I put them in the garage and they survived. And then over here is my blueberry area. But I mean, like I said, they're done. So that's about it.